Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. And just earlier today, I made a video on how to add scales to a fish. Well, I'd already deleted that fish before I realized that you could make it look a little bit better if you're engraving it or even printing it. Maybe I didn't want to put the gray in the other parts of the fish, but uh, this would really, if you did put it, it would kind of blend in. So I took another fish. And before we make the object, I'm going to make the area. And this fish is actually a little bit easier than the previous fish I used. Um, I'm just going to make a part where the scales are going to go. And you could go all the way to the back. And I think I will on this one. Normally fish scales, I wouldn't think. So take the Smart Fill tool and fill in that well. And let's tell you what, I'm going to make the nudge factor 5 inches. Take the Smart Fill tool on any color, it doesn't really matter. I'm just making a shape and then a left click, right click. Now, to make that shape with that almost like a shadow, look like they're stacked on top of each other. And you could play with that and maybe put a darker ring. But if we draw let's start off with a 1/2 inch circle. Let me zoom in here. Because we just want to get that shape, and then I'm going to change my nudge factor to 0.5 of an inch, and I'm going to hit the plus key and nudge that over. Now I'm going to set my nudge factor on 0.25, and I'm going to make a copy of that and move it over, up and over, and there's my shape. So I just put it in the middle with the half of the ingredients, or half the distance. Now, we're going to go ahead and leave it that color, and we're going to get the interactive fill tool. And you could really play with this, and so we're going to put some darkness, and the more you play with it, and I think for a printer you could use different colors, but for an engraver, I think this is really going to make it stand out. So let's just leave it like that. Now we got 0.15. So change your nudge factor to back to 0.15 or 0.5. Make a duplicate and then Control D, Control D, Control D. And make as many as you feel you need, because we're actually going to make them smaller this time. So I'm going to make quite a few because it doesn't take any time to make them. Now group that together, Control D, and change your nudge factor back to 0.25. And then hit the plus key and down and over. Then all you have to do is just take all this, duplicate down, Control D, Control D, Control D, and make quite a few of them. Because you can always reduce them in size. So we're going to group that together, Control G, and let's turn them a negative 90 degrees, which would be 270 degrees. And now let's take one of the corners and bring it down so our scales are a little bit lower, and we can stretch it out, or you could have made more. Now, if you notice that, first of all, I'm not going to move this. I'm going to nudge this so I can move this wherever I want it. But I need that other part to be visible. See, and I'm still need to be a little bit more thicker. Now I'm going to go to Object, Order, back a page, and now my fish part is visible. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to go right here to intersect. And what that did, that intersected that part. Now I'm going to do it again, and I think I had my nudge factor set on 5 inches. That's one thing I like about the intersect tool. You could just intersect to your heart's content. Maybe it won't let me do it twice. There we go. And now move that over it. I nudged it back that 5 inches. Now look at that. Now, before I should have done that, let me change my nudge factor to like 1 inch, move that out of the way, and take away this line. And really what you could do is nudge him completely out of the way for a second. Make your fish a light color, the whole thing. you know, and you could play around with the fins or not, and then nudge this guy back up. Make sure he's on the top of the page, because everything when you make a new object, it puts it on top. That really, I think, is going to be really, for a printer. Now, I don't like the way I made them oval because I stretched it, and you could still play around with this, but that's a pretty neat, unique, I think that would engrave quite well. And there's even more stuff you could do. You know, we could have put a line around them. I don't know that we can, yeah. And then make that line a little thicker. Whoa, forgot how little I was drawing. And then, see, once again, I moved that. I shouldn't have moved it, but you're going to get the effect. And then intersect that. And look at that. I mean, really makes it, I think that's going to be the winner. Now, you know what you can do, if you ever have this situation and you need, this shape and this shape are exactly the same. So let's make this like 5 inches and nudge this down. Now I'm going to grab with the shift select the other one and go E. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to grab this one, shift select this one and go E. Well, I did just the opposite. So grab this one first, shift select that one and go EC, and that put it right on top. Now we need to separate them. There we go. And then this one will be exactly in the right part. Go up to Object, Order, Front of Page. And you can't tell me that doesn't look pretty good. I think it would look really much better if I had not squished them. But, you know, who knows? You know, that still looks like a fish scale. Anyway, I hope that helped just a little bit. Thank you for watching.